We finally got Boruto Chapter 73, but before we get into it, let's just set our expectations where it ought to be. This chapter isn't action heavy. In fact, it doesn't really have any action whatsoever, but it does have a lot of information. Starting with the new mission in regards to Ada, and we also got some interesting power scaling mechanics here for Code that might upset some Code fans. I'm sorry in advance, but it is what it is. We also got an interesting tidbit in regards to Momoshiki and Sasuke, which I think is very interesting, so let's just get into it. So the chapter itself started off with Team 7 in the Okage building, and Boruto is basically saying that he's been called for a new mission, or the team itself has been called for a new mission that only they can handle. And this reminds me of Naruto's mission back in Shippuden where they tried to trick him to go on the Turtle Island to keep him out of the war, which is basically what they're doing here for Boruto and Kawaki, which we'll get into later on in the chapter. We then have Boruto and Kawaki supposedly coming face to face for the first time ever since Boruto revived, as stated by Boruto himself, which is very weird because 2 chapters ago when Code first escaped and Kawaki entered the building, Kawaki and Boruto were in the same room because Boruto and Naruto entered the room afterwards and Kawaki was still in the room. Even though they weren't shown on the same panel, Kawaki was there on a panel by himself in the same room. So it's kind of weird that they're saying that this is his first time seeing Boruto ever since he revived. So I don't know what's going on there. It's kind of weird. And this is the panel basically showing that Kawaki was in the room at the same time as Boruto listening to Shikamaru. So unless Kawaki was hiding around the corner or something, this is just weird. I don't know. Then we see that Kawaki is still kind of cautious around Boruto because even though Boruto is laughing and acting like the regular Boruto, Kawaki is still looking and thinking, is this really Boruto or is Momoshiki trying to trick us? He even said that he can't believe that Boruto actually revived. So I don't know if Kawaki kind of have some doubts about Boruto actually coming back or if there's still a risk for Boruto at this point in time, but he's really cautious around Boruto throughout the entire chapter. So Shikamaru basically began to lay out the plan for Boruto and Kawaki and also Team 7 of course. And he said that for quite a while now we have had no idea when Momoshiki might take over your consciousness and wreak havoc. Yet, not only have we not found any concrete solutions, your body has now become completely OTSUTSUKI. Then he turned to Kawaki and said that, not that you were ever docile, but, which means that he's saying that not that Kawaki was ever possessed by Ishiki, but now that you've got karma back plus Ishiki's abilities, you are an entity that we can no longer control. Then he says that even if unlike Boruto there's no risk of Ishiki actually possessing you anymore, from the standpoint that we can no longer keep that power in check, frankly as the ones responsible for maintaining the peace and order of this village, we have to treat you as a threat. Which I found very interesting because even though I understand that Kawaki has a lot of power, he has never posed an actual threat to the village. So saying that you're gonna see him as a threat because his power is greater than yours is kind of weird. Like that doesn't constitute someone as a threat to the village because their power is greater than what you can control. Like I would have more understood if he said that, okay cool, like we understand that you have a lot of power but we're still concerned about this new karma and what Amado may have done or what Amado is planning to do, or whether Ishiki might be able to possess your body in the future, we don't know. Like that would have been a better argument to make in the moment to Kawaki himself than to say that, okay cool, we can't keep your power in check. Like that's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird argument, that's what I'll say. Shikamaru then informed Team 7 that Amado is still alive and that he rescinded Code's limiters. Shikamaru then said something very interesting. He said that in any case, with his full power restored, I hear that Code's strength exceeds even Jigen's, whom it took both Naruto and Sasuke together to drive back. He then says that then again it should still be lesser than Ishiki Otsutsuki's power. So while he's definitely a formidable foe, we should be able to deal with him. So Shikamaru is confident that their current power level in the village should be able to handle No Limiter's Code. The only thing he's worried about right now is Ada. Now this should have been obvious from jump, right? You know, I already made a video on this explaining the powers of No Limiter's Code. I'm going to put it up on the screen and I'm going to link it above. Maybe you guys can go check it out. I'll put it in the end cards as well, right? Explain the entire lore behind Code, where he got his power from, how he got it, and where he scales to the current characters in the series, right? Now this was very obvious from the jump, as I said earlier. Code's powers were stated to be above Jigen. It was never compared to Ishiki's power. And people are saying that, oh, maybe they were just saying Jigen as Ishiki interchangeably. It doesn't really matter, they're the same person. That's nonsense, and I said that earlier. They're two different characters, and when they're referring to Ishiki's power, they make a clear distinction. And Ishiki himself said that he was brimming with power when he resurrected. Ishiki is way stronger than Jigen. That is very obvious. But for some reason, people thought that Code is somehow on Ishiki level or above because he surpasses Jigen. Some people even argued that Jigen was stronger than Ishiki for some weird reason. But you know, it's just weird, but this basically confirms this. The characters themselves who fought these characters have all the information on these characters, well, based on the power of these characters at least, have confirmed that Code is not on Ishiki's level, so we can move on from that. Shikamaru then introduces the real threat to the world, which he did in fact say that she is a threat to the world, and he said that her name is Ada, and he explained that her ability instantly enchants anyone within her proximity or in her presence or whatever, and renders them powerless because they can't attack her. He then says that we only learned of this afterwards, but there's a hole in her ability, her weakness apparently. And he says that OTSUTSUKI are immune to its effects, referring to Ada's ability. He then explains that that's why Boruto and Kawaki are needed for this mission. At present, Boruto and Kawaki, these two bomb brats Konoha's harboring, he's calling them a bomb because basically they have the powers of the Otsutsukis. Boruto is really literally a bomb because Momoshiki can just take over his body as opposed to Kawaki, but Kawaki has a personality issue, I will say. He then explains that they are the only battle assets against Ada's ability. He then also told them that Ada has cut ties with Code, so she's now on her way to the Hidden Leaf village. He then explains that essentially Code is now on his own. He may have regained full power, but he lost his most powerful comrades. Comrades as in more than one, referring to Damon as well, even though Damon was never mentioned in the chapter itself. Now Kawaki is very confused by this. He's like, yo, why are we letting this villain into the village? And Shikamaru basically explained that all skills and jutsu are powerless thanks to her ability, and the Hokage's power and influence means nothing to her, which is true. She doesn't need to follow anyone's orders. If she wanted to, it wouldn't be difficult for her to take over not just Konoha or the Land of Fire, but the entire world. I'm not even exaggerating, that's how much freedom she has. I don't know if you guys wanted this or whatever, but I've always wanted to explore the entire world of Naruto, because even though we're kind of constricted within the Land of Fire and the 5 or 6 villages or whatever, but we never really got to explore the entire world itself. What exactly is happening on the other side of the planet? Is it dead, no one lives there? What's going on, So I'd like to see what's going on in the outer Land of Fire area of the world, That would be pretty interesting. Or maybe we did and I just don't remember. Maybe it was filler or something. So the plot finally remembers that Konohamaru is a part of the village and he got to say something. So he explained that Kawaki and Boruto are the only ones who will be living with Ada. Shikamaru then continued by saying that I've already explained Ada's level of risk. Normally, regulations would dictate that she be monitored. However, our usual methods would likely end up getting compromised, because there's a chance that the Watchers would voluntarily do things that are favorable to Ada. Now, of course, everyone's wondering, why would Ada agree to such a plan to be monitored or surveilled in a house with 2 dudes? Why would she agree to that, to be restrained, to limit her own freedom? Why would she agree to that? Shikamaru then explained to them that it's awkward for me to say this, but since it's crucial to the success of the mission, Ada's got a crush on you, Kawaki. Which we of course switch to Ada, who's currently on the train heading to Konoha, and she's reacting to all of this information because she's watching it using her Senringan. And she said that this is exactly what she's been seeking. So apparently she agrees with the plan or the criteria or whatever to the plan. So I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. No, of course I just read the chapter, but I don't remember who said it. But someone actually tried to contest why would she want to be a Kawaki if she can have anyone with her abilities. I think it was Boruto. But then Sumire, the best character in the show, explained that I think that's because Miss Ada wants to experience a completely ordinary romance. So basically she doesn't want to have a fake romance with someone who is just attracted to her because of her ability. She wants to have a real love or whatever. Which Kawaki basically says that she's stupid because of it, which then prompts Shikamaru to explain that Ada also has another ability, which is that she can see and hear everything using her Senringan. Shikamaru then says that at any rate, everything being said here should be considered considered leaked. Of course, I'm disclosing this mission to you knowing that. So Shikamaru is aware, he's not stupid, as I first theorized. He is aware that Ada is listening. And he basically addressed Ada directly. He said that so the diplomatic maneuvering has already begun. Right, Ada? And Ada is there listening to Shikamaru using her Senringan and shit. So, yeah. Ada is already aware of the plan. Shikamaru knows that she's aware. Everything's fine. I will address this later on though. Now of course Kawaki is very stubborn, and he's saying that he doesn't want to do this, yada yada yada, and he says that he'd rather much throw himself at Code. And Shikamaru basically says that, be that as it may, it's downright impossible to nail down that bastard's location. But if they have the help of Ada using her Senringan, they would be able to locate Code, which is true. Now one thing to take note of here is that Kawaki is confident that he can take on Code, who is above Jigen level. So, take that as you may. I wouldn't say that this is confirmation that Kawaki can actually beat Code by himself. I'm just saying that Kawaki thinks he can, that's basically it. But then, we move on to Naruto and Sasuke on the roof talking about the mission. Naruto is aware of the mission. He already agreed to it with Shikamaru. Shikamaru is just relaying the mission to everyone. So I saw some people being upset about like Naruto not being there. I will say that Naruto hasn't been doing what he should be doing, like what we saw about from the previous Hokages with Tsunade and all that jazz, but he doesn't need to be there to give that information. Obviously he is aware of it, that's why he's talking to Sasuke about it. So I don't see it as much of a problem, to be honest, but I do think that he should be more involved with delivering information and actually receiving it as opposed to not being in the room, Then we get the last two panels of the chapter, and then Kawaki somehow notices Momoshiki standing beside Boruto. And Sasuke himself even senses Momoshiki's presence. Like he says that it's just like that time, that day when Momoshiki was killed by Boruto and Momoshiki appeared to Boruto in his spiritual form. So Kawaki and Sasuke can sense Momoshiki's presence. So yeah, that's that. And that's basically it for the chapter itself. Now let's just address a few things, right? Kawaki being able to see Momoshiki, I think that's plausible because they have the resonance with the karma. They can explain it in any way they want to explain it. They have the resonance. Kawaki can sense Momoshiki, fine. Kawaki is an OTSUTSUKI, fine. He can sense another OTSUTSUKI's presence, fine. They can also say that Kawaki's eye is now being amped by Ishiki's dojutsu, fine. It doesn't matter, that's irrelevant. There's nothing to discuss in regards to Kawaki. We can move on. Now Sasuke is more interesting, right? Why is Sasuke still able to sense Momoshiki? Like, he didn't see him. Of course, he's in another room. He doesn't have X-ray vision. Well, maybe with the Sharingan, but that aside, Sasuke is able to sense his presence. He literally turned around. Momoshiki was there beside Boruto. Now, this doesn't mean that Sasuke now has the Rinnegan again, or Sasuke has his Rinnegan abilities. That's ludicrous. What it actually means is that Sasuke has retained some of the enhancements provided by the Rinnegan in regards to his sensory abilities. And we saw that with Kakashi and Obito back in the war. When Obito had the Rinnegan for like what, a few days, maybe 3 days or so on, but yet when he gave it to Kakashi at the end of the war, Kakashi could still feel the 6 paths chakra within Obito's Sharingan. So Obito's Sharingans were permanently enhanced by his 6 paths boost that he received from having the Rinnegan 6 paths chakra coursing through his veins, because this was confirmed by Obito himself that the Rinnegan does supply chakra and a chakra boost and a power boost to his body. So of course you could say that this is because of being a 10 tails as well, but you can't remove the fact that the Rinnegan itself also supplies 6 paths chakra, since 6 paths chakra is Hagoromo's chakra, and Hagoromo's chakra is what awakens the Rinnegan. So basically Sasuke's body itself, his sensory awareness, has been enhanced by this chakra, and so has his dojutsu. So Sasuke's Sharingan is way stronger than it used to be. Even his base eye should be way stronger and way more potent than it used to be. And this would also be backed up by what Kishimoto said about Gaara in a databook or some question and answer bullshit back in the past, when someone asked, will Gaara still have the ability to control sand since he no longer has Shukaku? And Kishimoto basically answered, I'm going to pull it up on screen if I can find it, that once you are changed, you never remain the same, or some bullshit like that. I don't remember. I'm going to pull it up on screen so you guys can see it. It's very interesting. I think this is basically what's happening with Sasuke. Now, it should be happening with Naruto, and we may see that down the line as well, but we can just wait and see. We don't need to theorize on that right now. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, so overall I think it was a really good chapter. I think it was okay. It isn't what I expect from a monthly manga. That's a complaint I have every month, right? The chapters themselves, they're fine. The information we receive, every chapter doesn't need to be action heavy, but because it's monthly, read, then it just feels like, oh, I have to wait next month to like get some action or something. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. It's just like, I don't know, bro. This manga needs to move to weekly or bi-weekly. It's more manageable. Then I think it would be way better, because we have to wait 1 month to just get some information drop and some rehashed information from the prior chapters. It's exhausting, you know. We might be like, I might be 70 years old before this manga closes out if it remains monthly, bro. It's I don't know, but it's a really good chapter aside from that. So, you know, hats off, whatever, you know. Let me know your ratings in the comment section down below. Drop a like if you like the video, and subscribe if you're new. Check out my new videos that I posted, well, old videos, because you know, this is gonna be the latest one. I have this video dropping tomorrow that should be on the whole Boruto prophecy thing and whatever. I also have some shorts dropping that I think you guys should check out. If you guys like them, you know, drop a like, whatever, comment. I'll see you guys next time. You know, have a good day. Peace out.